Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you about peace lily and give you some care tips, and more specifically explain to you how to get it to rebloom. I don't know if you've ever had this, but you buy a peace lily from the garden centre or the houseplant shop, you get it home, put it in pride of place, enjoy it for about a month, and then all of a sudden the flowers go and you're left with something that maybe looks a bit like this. Lots of leaves, perfectly healthy, but no more flowers. Well, here's the thing. It's not you. You can give yourself a break because this is quite a common issue. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you why this happens and give you some hacks and some advice about how to get your peace lily to rebloom. You ready? Let's go. Okay, so I had a question on Instagram from, is it Whitney or is that just part of your username? I'm not sure. I'll call you Whitney. I'm sorry if it isn't your name. She says, I could really use some tips or hacks for my peace lily. It doesn't have any blooms and is not nearly as bushy and vibrant as yours. Well, here's the thing. When you buy plants from a garden centre or a houseplant shop, they come from a commercial grower, and their job is to produce as many plants as possible and have them look as attractive as possible. So they grow them in a very non-natural environment. They force the flowers, they get as many flowers as possible, and it is very unnatural conditions. So expecting to get the same results when you take it home is just not going to happen. They use artificial lighting, they often use hormones to spark the flowering process, and so when you get it home it's not necessarily going to be doing the same thing. It doesn't mean it won't ever flower, but peace lily, like a lot of plants, need to be mature before it flowers. These are not mature plants. They're quite young, they're grown young, and then they're forced into flowering by using hormonal sprays that will activate the flowering instinct in the plants, but you're not going to be able to do that. So when the flowers naturally finish, which is just the natural way of things, they won't necessarily immediately reflower. So there's a few things we can do though, so don't worry. Firstly, this is known as a low light plant, and that is definitely the case. It's going to be perfectly happy in a lower light environment, but to get the flowers, it will need higher light levels. So let's just say you have a living environment and where you want to keep your plant on display on the dining room table or something like that is in a lower light environment. That's fine, but maybe what you need to do is move it into a much higher light environment first to trigger that flowering instinct to get it to flower again. That's the first thing you can do. Move it to a brighter location. Secondly, obviously, we need to make sure the care is correct. Plenty of water. These guys do not like drying out. If you've ever seen your peace lily without water, it's sulking, all the leaves are drooping, and it doesn't look happy. You need to keep the water coming slightly more than average. It doesn't want to be sopping wet. Most plants don't want to be sopping wet, but the soil always needs to just stay on the moist side rather than on the drier side. Also, we need to understand the flowering period is spring and summer. So if you're in the winter and you live in a country with lower light levels and generally lower temperatures, probably not going to get it to flower. You just have to accept that, give it a break, enjoy the plant for its leaves and generally look after it. And then when it gets back into summer and spring, what you can do is then start giving it some extra feed. Fertilize it with a balanced general houseplant fertilizer, maybe once a month. Get that feed going, get the water going, and as it starts to grow, put it into the higher light environment, and you're gonna give it as best an opportunity you can to get it to reflower. Humidity, warmth, sun, and feed. These are all the key elements that you need to get strong growth and therefore get some flowers out of your plant. Now, that's not guaranteed to work, unfortunately, because they are quite tricky to flower, but that's just the way of things. If you keep your plant and you're determined to get the flowers, that's fine, because a more mature plant is more likely to flower. If you have a particularly small, younger one, there is maybe a lower chance of reflowering. So you will see some of them have a very big plants with big leaves and big flowers, and then you have small ones like this that are a much younger plant. So you need to bear all this in mind. So firstly, don't beat yourself up. It's just the way of things. Anything from a grower will be artificially grown, and it's not unusual that you can't replicate the same environment. So don't worry about it. Secondly, enhance it, give it the best environment as you can, and then cross your fingers and see how you go. It's all part of the fun of enjoying the houseplants, and you can't have amazing displays all the time. But if you do want a nice flowering peace lily for an event or something, then go buy another one from your garden centre. Support your local houseplant shop and get another one, put it in pride of place, enjoy it while it's flowering, and then you can enjoy the process of trying to get it to rebloom later on. So I hope that's been helpful, Whitney, and you've got some hacks to try out on your peace lily to get it to rebloom. Fingers crossed for you, but let me know in the comments how you get on. Please give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful or useful, and subscribe if you're new around here for more houseplant related videos coming along very soon. Bye for now.